But in China, they use these. So can Beijing's restaurants handle hordes of hungry Olympic visitors, their dizzying array of tastes, and their lack of experience with chopsticks? In this episode, see how Beijing is preparing for the additional 1.5 million mouths it has to feed during the 2008 Olympics, and how the city hopes to make a food festival out of the Olympic Games. Then, these restaurants are cooking up Chinese cuisine that may surprise you. Find specialties that speak to your taste buds, just in time for a trip to the Olympics. All coming up now on Beijing Are You Ready? In China, most likely if you're not eating, you're talking about your next meal.
食品对于中国的文化是十分重要的，它在中国的历史文化传统当中占有十分重要的地位。
Whether welcoming a guest, hanging out with friends, or clinching a business deal, chances are it's done sitting at a huge round table over a 10-course banquet. And Beijing's gearing up for its biggest banquet yet. It's preparing for the additional 1.5 million mouths it has to feed during the 2008 Olympics. That includes 10,500 Olympic athletes. The city has to be sure that the food and water they're providing is clean, fresh, and safe. To meet this challenge, Beijing and the Beijing Organizing Committee for the Olympic Games launched the Food Safety Program in 2005. A new set of food safety standards, based on recommendations by the World Health Organization, was put in place. The impact of these safety regulations extends beyond Beijing. That's because an estimated 70% of the food products will come from areas outside the capital city. To ensure food quality, the committee is creating a tracking system for the 5,000 plus tons of Olympic vegetables and all the fruit and livestock needed, issuing an identity or serial number for each provider. If there's a problem, the committee will be able to identify the source. Preventing bioterrorism is another key part of food safety.
目前在重大国际体育赛事当中，反恐越来越提升到一个非常重要的高度。
After 9/11, the Athens 2004 security budget increased way beyond its original estimate, totaling over $1.3 billion. Beijing is likely to spend even more. A good chunk of this fund is going to food safety to guard against potential threats. But when it comes to food, it's not all about preparing for grim possibilities. Taste and variety are important too. Every Olympics has an Olympic menu, which is served in the Olympic Village. The dishes reflect the diversity of the athletes. While the Beijing Olympic menu will definitely include common Western food, like hamburgers, French fries, and spaghetti, the city also sees it as an opportunity to show the wide variety of Chinese food available.
在北京召开奥运会呢，是把中国食品呢推向世界的一个绝好的机会。中国的食文化呢源远流长，也深受世界各国人民的喜爱。我们想呢，通过奥运会呢，能够有更多的朋友替我们宣传、介绍中国的传统食品以及中国的传统食文化，从而呢，把中国的历史文化和文明呢传播到世界各地。
The 1964 Tokyo Olympics helped introduce sushi on a grand scale. And the 1988 Seoul Olympics did the same for Korea's traditional pickles, or kimchi. So, which Chinese dishes will be on the Olympic menu in 2008? Well-known dishes, like Kung Pao chicken, are likely options, but some would like to see less-known local snacks included too.
在奥运会上呢，为了安全因素，考虑到食品标准化加工的需要，所以中国各地都有一些传统的小吃或者美食。我想呢，还是应该不能够都端上奥运会的这个餐桌。
With so many delicacies left off the Olympic menu, serious food addicts will have to venture outside the Olympic green to satisfy their curious appetites.
在奥运会期间呢，运动员包括官员们肯定不可能只在奥运村内或者宾馆饭店内用餐，所以呢，他们一定会到北京的一些大街小巷去享受美食。我们呢， 这时候要做的工作呢，绝不简简单单是保证几家餐馆的安全，整个北京市的大大小小的餐馆呢，到时候呢，我们想都要确保安全卫生。
That's a daunting task, and one that can't be done overnight. So the Olympic food safety policy was adopted 3 years before the Games. A classification system has been put in place that rates the city's restaurants on a scale of A, B, C, and D. A indicates the cleanest and safest option. All restaurants in Beijing are required to post a sign at the entrance which states the health department rating. So, in the Olympic spirit, even restaurants are hoping for high scores in 2008.
我们的奥运会呢，既是一次体育的盛会呢，我们也希望它是一次食品的盛会。
Every day in Beijing can be a food festival, but come 2008, it'll be a safer party. So, let's get the party started. Just in time for your trip to the Olympics, we sampled 4 Beijing restaurants. Each specializes in a different regional cuisine. See which part of China speaks to your taste buds. Chinese food. In America, people often think of it as a single cuisine. But Chinese food varies by region, just as does in America, where a bowl of New Orleans gumbo is very different from a bowl of New England clam chowder. There are 8 regional Chinese cuisines, each with distinct differences. But lucky for Olympic visitors, Beijing has them all. Beijingers usually choose between Hunan, Sichuan, Cantonese, Fujian, Shandong, Jiangsu, Anhui, or Zhejiang cuisines. To Westerners, Zhejiang might be one of China's least known cuisines.
Right now, I'm in a restaurant in Beijing, but I may as well be 1,000 miles away southeast in China's Zhejiang province. This restaurant is called Kangyi, and it's trying to evoke the character of the Zhejiang region with these streams and lakes. Unlike other types of Chinese cuisine, food from the Zhejiang region is not spicy. The emphasis is on freshness and seafood. Freshness and authenticity are so important that this restaurant has its ingredients flown in from Zhejiang province every day.
The kitchen is simple, spacious, and clean. Zhejiang cuisine is known to be both simple and light in taste. But there's one dish they make here that's an acquired taste. It's called chou tofu, or stinky tofu, something you probably won't find on the Olympic menu. The tofu is fermented for several days, which gives it an odor some might describe as foul. Then it's deep fried to stinky perfection. When it's finished, the aroma is almost like rotting vegetables, hence the name stinky tofu. But for those who've acquired the taste, stinky tofu is the Chinese equivalent of a strong cheese, like gorgonzola, and it's actually very popular. Most of Kangyi's dishes, however, are not acquired tastes. They're instantly appealing.